Welcome back to the Meeple Marathon. Today we're going to be talking about how to control the Automa for the Fox experiment. The Automa is used in both a two-player game and a solo game. And a lot of how you control it is exactly the same between those two player counts. So first we're going to talk about how to control the Automa for a two-player game, because that is there's much less involved. There's a few more steps when you're playing solo. So to play with the Automa, you're going to need these two special decks of cards, which have this kind of brain symbol on them. These are the Automa decision-making cards, and these are the Automa study-specific cards. Make sure you don't mix these in with these because they are different, and you'll see why in just a second. I'm going to set these right here just for the sake of saving some space. You are going to need the gear token and some Fox Meeples, no matter which player count you're playing with. And if you're playing solo, you're also going to need the blank pup cards. So we're just going to set these off to the side for right now. So the Automa, their whole goal is to A, compete against you in the selection phase, and then also to put out new and improved foxes into the kennel for you to then bid on and try and obtain in the next rounds, in the future rounds. So let's first talk about how the Automa interacts in the selection phase. Now this is going to be the same for both two-player and solo. So what you're going to do is at the beginning of the game, you're going to flip over one of these Automa study cards. Now for a two-player game, the only thing you are concerned about with the Automa here is the number 1 here and the number 2 here. So right now the Automa's primary focus is the tail trait, the purple one, and their secondary focus is the ears trait, the brown one. All right. In a solo game, they're actually going to move across this card and could end up earning 10 points to compete against you. In a two-player game, they don't score. It's only the scoring is only ever between you and the other person you're playing with. The Automa is just here to get in your way, take away some selection from you, things like that. So now that we've got our study card out in turn order, when it's the Automa's turn, you're going to flip over this top card here. Now the Automa is actually kind of representing two players in a way. They're going to select 2 mamas, 2 papas, and 2 supply track spots. Okay, so that's why in a two-player game, you're simulating a 2/4-player game. And in a solo game, you're really kind of simulating a 3-player game. But let's look at what this is telling us here. This tells us that the Automa is going to select a spot on the supply track, and it's going to select a female fox. So let's first start with the supply track here. Now, since it's choosing 2 spots on the supply track, the first time this symbol comes up, we're only going to take a Fox Meeple, and we're simply going to look at this arrow right here. And so this says it's coming in from this direction, so he's going to take the first open spot coming in from the left. So the Automa essentially has made it so no one else can claim this bona fide first player token, but that's not where their gear token is. Where their gear token ends up is where their player order is going to be the following round. So you could still gain first player by going here, because this is just kind of a dummy filling a space. And anytime the Automa goes into the supply track, they don't gain any of these benefits. Now you can increase the difficulty, and if they end up going here, they would get one of these 2 tokens if you're playing solo. There's no real way to increase the difficulty in 2-player. All right, so we've got our supply track figured out. Now we need to determine which female fox the AI would choose. And again, we're going to take one of the Fox Meeples here to signify that choice. We're actually not going to remove it from the kennel. So we look here and we see, okay, their number 1 priority is the purple trait, the purple dice. So we're going to look at all the females and we're going to say, all right, which one of these has the most purple dice to roll? And that would be Jacqueline. It's very straightforward, very easy. If there was a tie, say one other fox had a single purple die, we would look to the brown, and then we would say, oh, Jacqueline has a brown, and say Irina has a blue, so we would again go back to Jacqueline. That's why we have these numbers here, because that gives us our focus. So I'm going to put this Fox Meeple right there. That is 1 for Jacqueline. I mean, that is one for the AI. Now, we would go through our turns, and let's just, say for example that I would want to take, say, I'm going to take this one, and somebody else takes this one, and we're also going to take this one and this one. Well, yeah, we'll just say me and the other player took 2 males. So then it's going to come back to the AI again, and now they're choosing a male and their second female. So in males, they're still looking for purple, and they say, okay, who has the most purple? Okay, this is easy. Rodko here gets a purple, and so then they're going to look for the female. Female, again, they're looking for purple. There's no purple, so they move on to their second priority, which is the brown dice. So that's a very easy choice for them. They're going to come up here and take Bolodenka. So they're done. It's going to go through us again, and we're going to say, okay, actually they've got their 2 females, so I'm going to choose my supply track. And I don't have any other gear tokens out, but we'll just say I'm going to go here because I want these 2 tokens in first place. And then the other person I'm playing with is like, well, I want this one here because I'm going to get 3 things out of this. And there we go. We're just pretending these are gear tokens. All right, then it's going to come back around to the AI. Now, they've already got 2 females chosen, so we're going to ignore this, but they've only got 1 male chosen. So again, we look for purple dice, none up there. We look for brown dice. Well, red here from previous turn has 1 brown die. That's based on this X above in the box. Now, if it was a dot in the circle, that would be a trait token that you would earn. If you don't know what that means, check out my how to play video for multiplayer and for humans popping up in the upper right corner now. But in this case, the AI would claim red. Okay? But since it only took 1 action, it needs to take its 3rd action. We know what it is. So we're going to flip over the next card. And there is our supply token. We simply just kept flipping it over so that we could get the arrow. In this case, it sees that it wants to come in from this direction. So it's going to take this spot right here. It just discards this token here. It doesn't gain that trait token. At this point, we would say, oh yeah, we're going to claim these 2. These are for the human players to make their foxes with, and we're left with these 4 foxes here. Now, these 2 foxes can go ahead and get discarded, or you can leave them there. I like to clear them out of the way so that I don't get them mixed up. This is where the biggest difference is between a 2-player game and a solo game. So for the next few minutes here, we're going to talk our way through what you would do if you were playing a 2-player game. In a 2-player game, you would simply pull these, well, you wouldn't pull them off yet, technically. You would put those there, and you're going to add dice to these cards, which for the purposes of the next round, you're going to imagine that those dice placed on the card are basically printed on the card. And you're going to add a 1 for each trait that they are in favor of. But you can only have, or a fox can only have 2 of any particular die color on its card. So for Kudko here, I couldn't add another purple because it's already got 2. I could, however, add 2 to 2. Jacqueline's pretty stacked here. Bolodenka up here, she can take 2, and red can take 2. Now, I apologize. You don't need to put the dice on the card that is one that a human player has gone. You're simply going to cross off the next box here, and you would put a point there. So you have increased red. You don't need to change the name or anything like that, but you have improved red's statistics. You have improved all of their statistics. Consider these guys all juniors for the purposes of playing the game. During the research phase, the only thing that the AI does is if any one of you, the 2 human players, completes their 3rd level of their study card. So if you move your fox all the way over here and are able to cash in this study card, you're also going to select a new study card for the AI. That simply changes their priority, mixes the game up a little bit. And then during the administration phase, this is when you would pull off the tokens. This is also when they tell you to clear away these extra ones, but you leave these guys out here. These guys stay in the kennel and are available for mamas and papas in the next round, which is why you're supposed to leave the fox meeples on there so you don't get confused. But I feel like it's easier just to tuck these guys away sooner, and then I would add mine back in that I've created, and I would fill in from the left. All right, so that is that. Now, that again was a 2-player game. That's how you control the Automa for a 2-player game. They're not scoring anything. They are simply just stealing selections from you and improving the foxes that go back into the kennel. That's their main game. Now, when you play solo, they're going to control the selection phase exactly the same as we just covered. The biggest difference is now during the breeding phase, instead of placing dice on these cards, the Automa is actually going to breed 2 foxes. The Automa is always going to breed 2 foxes, no more than 2, and it could be 2 males, it could be 2 females, or it could be 1 of each. Shuffle up this deck for them before you play and just draw the top 2. Now, what you're going to do to breed these foxes is basically you're going to consider them rolling whatever dice they have on their parents as each getting a single success. Okay? So, let's say we're going to call this fox here Celine. All right? So that's our female. Now, Celine has the first fox you do for the AI is going to take the 2 leftmost foxes. So Bolodenka is going to be the mom and Red is going to be the dad. And simply we're going to give them a check or dot for every die that is on these 2 cards. So for Bolodenka, she's going to give them 1 brown success. Red, however, we're not looking at the dots because those aren't dice. Red has 1 of each die. So he's going to give a success here, a success here, a success here, and a success here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Celine's friendliness score is a 5. You could then set this off to the side somewhere, and then we have, we're going to call him Reed. All right, so Reed here is going to look at his parents, and Jacqueline is giving him a purple and a brown, and Rodgo here is giving him 2 purples. So 1, 2, 3, 4 for Reed is his friendliness score. Okay, at this point we don't need the parents for the AI anymore. We could get rid of them. Again, this is something that they say to do during the administration phase. I personally find it easier to do it now. But anyways, we have our 2 foxes here. And so then we go into the research phase. And we say, okay, can Celine complete this first level of this study? She has, no, she does not, because she does not meet the tail requirements. She only has the box X'd, but the circle not dotted. Okay, so nothing there. But Reed, however, does. Reed has got X dot X, which is more than this, and he's got 1 X for brown. So in this case, we would take a single fox meeple from the AI's color and place it there. He is now scoring at least 2 points, and he's going to be working his way towards 10. And in the solo AI, anytime the Automa completes the first level, only the first level of a study card, they reveal another one. Because the Automa can complete more than 1 study card per fox, which is not something human players can do. Human players, your 1 fox can only complete 1 level of 1 study each research phase. Reed, however, if both of these had been out, could have then completed this level and then gone down here and checked to see, oh, can he complete this level? The answer would be no. But further down the game, he's going to probably create, the Automa is going to create a better fox, just like you are creating better foxes. And he may be able to knock out this one, maybe you've even flipped over this one by now. And you know, you would look at something like this and be like, okay, he didn't complete here, but maybe he completed there, and he started here, and so then we're going to flip over a new one. So this is a little complicated, but just know that this one fox for the Automa can complete at least one level at each study that is out for the Automa. And anytime the Automa completes level 1 of a study card, they get to reveal a new one. Now, I have requested assistance with a question, and that is whether or not when the new card is revealed, do you instantly check, for example, Reed against the new card he just revealed, or does when Reed reaches the end of all of his studies and he's completed the ones he can, then you flip it over, but Reed's already out of the picture? That's not explained clearly in the rulebook, so I've asked him for clarification. When I figure out the answer to that, I will pin a comment to this video and let you guys know. I have been playing the way that Reed basically clears through all the studies, he moves on, and then we look, oh, was level 1 of any study completed? Yes, then I reveal a new one. Otherwise, a good fox could just keep flipping over cards and completing studies, and it seems a little out of control to me. If, and this is going to happen because the AI is going to start with a friendliness token on its first card, and anytime the Automa does not get the friendliest fox, when you get the friendliest fox and they get the runner-up bonus here, you're going to add another one, a max of 2. And if they have earned extras and have like a pile over here off to the side, if they reveal a new study card, they're going to add those to this sheet as well. Now what this does is gives them a bonus every time they are breeding a fox. So in this case, you're only looking at the top study in this instance. If we were breeding Reed and there were 2 friendliness tokens on that study card, he would get an extra tail trait, and then we would look at for the second one, and he would get that. So the AI for solo does collect friendliness tokens. It starts the game with 1, and then it collects them from this track down here, and it basically uses them to gain a single success in their top trait, and then if it has 2, in their second trait. Beyond that, you are simply going to put them into the kennels. You're going to compare them against your foxes, and so you guys may tie for friendliest score, or they may beat you. Whichever way, you're going to put whoever's fox Meeple into this patch right here. They're going to gain those points at the end of the game. And essentially, this is the biggest way the AI is going to score against you. Again, they don't collect supplies. They don't collect with sponsors. They don't have their own player board. They are going to create foxes and compete for the friendliness score, and they are going to complete their own study cards. So that's the score you are going up against during the AI. Administration phase works exactly the same. You're going to put their foxes out. You're going to put your foxes out. If they have 2 foxes of the same sex going out, so say these were both female, you're going to bookend them. You're going to put one over here and one over here. That's mainly because they work their way from left to right when it's a tiebreaker based on this arrow. So they're always coming in from the outsides. And generally, in this game, you want to go get your fox back because usually your fox that you created is working towards your study, and you kind of want to keep that trend going. So you bookend them, but in this case, if it was, whoops, I switched them like that, then you would just put them at the beginning. The only thing you need to do for the Automa during the administration phase is take this one small deck and mix it up. It's a very small deck, and so you are going to need to reshuffle it every time, stick it down, and then in player order, go through the selection phase. And that's it. At the end of the game, end game scoring, like I said, the Automa is going to score for their study cards, however far they have completed their study cards. So, some 10s, some 5s, or some 2s. They're also going to score for whatever they've claimed on the friendliness track, and every single friendliness token that they have claimed is going to get them points at the end of the game. You'll compare that against your score to see who the winner is. And that's it. That is how you control the Automa in the Fox experiment. Again, this is for both 2-player games and single-player games. If I missed anything, I'll be sure to, or got anything wrong, I'll be sure to put in a Klingon subtitle or a pinned comment. If you have any questions, please feel free to let me know in the comment section below. I'll do my best to answer those questions. But otherwise, once again, thanks for watching. Have a great day.